Here we are, Harmony Spiritual Center. And what we do is we teach principles, we learn we practice our actions. We're not just a talking, thinking church, although we do all of that. We are actually the activity of God. That's what we do, that's what we talk about, the activity of God. And we know for sure that God is all, everything, and we are individualized expressions of the one love. We are divine light, connected to the one source, connected to one another, always, always, never alone. That's what we teach. And so last week we had a talk with both Reverend Glenn and Reverend Pat, why prosperity is important for your path. And Glenn talked about this conscious connection with that which is true, this conscious connection, this prosperity in all things, in all things. And Pat talked about prosperity's energetic purpose, higher and higher consciousness. That is the purpose. And so we're not hamstringing spirit with too much specificity. We say this or greater still. Whatever we are asking for, we just say this or greater and allow spirit to bring more and more abundance into our lives, more and more knowledge, more and more knowing. Today I want to talk about, my topic is put your foot down. Put your foot down. And this was something that my partners in believing, Kim and Melinda, told me one day because I was kicking myself, just upset about something I had done. And they said, all right, that's enough of that. Put your foot down. Stop kicking yourself. And I love that. I love that. I actually put a poster on my wall with a foot down. All right? Just stop it, girl. Because we have this tendency, right? When we're doing something, we just talk, and there's all this noise in our head about, oh my God, that was so dumb, that was so stupid, or whatever it was. But we just really need to stop beating ourselves. We have this tendency to talk badly to ourselves. And we listen to our self-talk. Listen to your self-talk. What are you saying? What are you saying to yourself about you? Are you saying that you're a child of God? That it's all love, it's all good, and we are just experiencing things that show us how to expand? Or are we saying that you're just dumb, that was stupid, you're never going to get it? What are you saying? Check in and see what that is. And let me ask you this. Would you be friends with someone who spoke to you the way you speak to yourself? Would you? Think about that. Would you be friends with that person? I certainly wouldn't. Beating ourselves up, it only makes us feel worse, not better. And it encourages the continuation of bad behavior, whatever you think bad behavior is. So this story I'm going to tell you, it just caused me to feel ashamed of myself. And so I had to call my partners in believing, Kim and Melinda, and have them tell me that I can forgive myself. Forgiveness isn't just about others. It's about self-forgiveness as well. I've told you the story, but I'm going to tell you again because it was just so crazy. And it's just how it is sometimes. And I actually have been reflecting on what was going on for me, and I'll share that with you. But I just couldn't stop acting crazy. I was just acting outside of myself, just acting crazy. And when I look back on what was happening, what was going on inside of me, what was hurting my heart, was I was feeling dismissed by someone. I was at a phone store, and they had asked me to show up at a particular time. And I did, but they weren't open. The door was locked. And so I just wanted to ask them, hey, this is the time you told me to be here, so when I come, is my time? Because it says if you're not there at this time, then you forfeit your appointment. So I just wanted to show them, hey, this is what time you said. You guys aren't open, and so am I going to forfeit? And the person just wouldn't even look at me. Just kept and sitting there reading, watching, looking at his phone and all this kind of thing. And so I just got my phone. I don't have my phone, but I just want to show you what I did. So this is the door, and I just for 15 minutes. Yeah, exactly that. And people were showing up and they were looking at me like I was a crazy lady, because I was at that point, just crazy. And the Spirit was saying, knock it off. This isn't going to change anything. This isn't going to make you feel better. You can know what to do. You can know what's right, and you can still be a human being. And it's okay that you do that. It's okay that not that you act crazy, but it's okay that you're a human being and that you forgive yourself. And as I look back on that story, I thought, why did you do that? What was bothering you so much? And it's the thing that because I really feel like we're all one, and that we are individualized expressions of the one, and we deserve to be treated that way. And I was completely dismissed by this person. It was like I didn't deserve his time, like I was undeserving, and that just really burned my heart. It burned my heart, and that's why I was doing that. And that's on me. I didn't have to feel that way. You get to decide. We're talking this morning in class about you get to decide how you feel. You get to decide what you do. You get to choose. It wasn't him. It was me. It was me. It's never outside of yourself. That is a good thing to know. So you can just put your foot down at any time. Stop kicking yourself. Forgiveness isn't just about others. It's also about forgiving yourself for how you showed up or for how you didn't show up, for knowing who I am and still showing up like someone else, still showing up crazily. It's okay. It's okay that I allowed my human side to do what it did. I have an experience that I can now learn from. That's all this is. And next week we're going to talk about story versus experience. It doesn't have to be my story. That's not my story. It was just an experience. Okay? It's just an experience that I learned from, and I realized I was capable of acting crazy. I just realized that. I know. I just realized that. Exactly, Rebecca. I just realized that. I can act crazy, but that's all right. I can also act like love. I can also be love. I can also love myself. And if I'd loved myself at that point, I wouldn't have been acting like that. I just wasn't giving myself any love, and that's okay. And so one of the things I'm learning from my partners in believing is, and I knew this already, because I was talking with Spirit, but Spirit was talking to me, I wasn't listening. And listening to the 4 agreements, it really helps. I listen to it every day, and the first one, of course, is be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personal. It wasn't about me. Don't take anything personal. Don't be making assumptions. I'm making assumptions about this person. I have no idea who this is. I have no idea what was going on with him. I have no idea what was on his mind. Who knows? I'm making assumptions. And then just do your best. Just do your best. And at every moment, you're already doing your best. Even if your best is only 20% of what you know you can do, that's still your best in that moment. So we don't have to beat ourselves up. That's what the 4 agreements tell us. So we make a decision to stop talking badly about yourself. I'm asking you to do that. Why? Because you're doing your best and you are perfect exactly as you are. Know this. This is not me just saying words. This is the truth of you. You're already perfect exactly where you are. And whatever experiences we're having are just for us to learn a little bit more about ourselves, a little bit more about how we want to show up. That's all it is. It doesn't define us unless we keep on telling a story about it. That story gets etched in our mind and it becomes who we are. So we get to decide if we want to show up differently. We don't need to beat ourselves up. We just make a different decision. That is all. And so there's another story that I want to talk about beating yourself up by telling this story that you tell and your ability to tell a new story. You can change your mind at any time and tell a different story. We all have multiple stories. We're all creative. We're all storytellers. We're all storytellers. And if you don't think you are, just think about when you see something you don't like in the story you tell about it. You don't know anything about it. But you can just create all kinds of stories about it because we're storytellers. That's what we do. We tell stories about ourselves, about the experiences that we're having, about what we see. We don't know if that's true or not. It's just a story we're telling. So that means we can change the story that we're telling if it's not working for us. So I have a friend who is constantly talking about, and other people talk about it too, the relationship that I have with Spirit is a personal one. It's just the way it is. It's just the way I was raised. And I call him George, and George and I have conversations all the time. And it's like, okay, what's next, George? What are we doing? And it's just, I'm always talking with George. And so she was comparing her spirituality and how she relates to Spirit with the way I relate to Spirit. And she was feeling bad about herself. About herself. And you know that comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is a thief of joy. You don't need to compare yourself to anyone. I was raised a particular way around talking to God. My mom talked to God all the time. She called on Spirit, and I thank God that she did. Because if she didn't, we probably would have got beat up a whole lot more because we were acting crazy. And she would just say, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Thank you. And Jesus showed up and stayed her hand. So I'm glad that she had this relationship. My friend had a very different relationship with Spirit in her household. So Tim, are you back there? Can you play the video for me? I want you to take a look at this. This woman, if we can play it, she explains, my friend's experience with Spirit is the same as this woman had growing up. This is Kathleen Madigan, and she's talking about stop bothering Spirit. Stop bothering Jesus. Huh? There we go.
Might get blessed.
Hope this is an appropriate
I'm getting $500 for lucky people.
I don't know what this is.
I'm just a good person giving back to his community.
I don't know what this is, Tim.
Lock your blessing.
This is not her. Just skip. Can you just skip that at the bottom? I don't know what that is. A commercial, maybe. There we go.
I think being Catholic is Christian, but it is pointed out to me many times in the South that they're not the same. Because in the South, they'll go, oh, are you Christian? I go, yeah, I'm Catholic. Oh, well, we're Christian. Oh, okay. I thought we said the same thing, but I guess not. There are differences. The Christians have a direct relationship with Jesus, and they speak of it like that. You know what? Me and my relationship with Jesus, well, I love Jesus, Jesus loves me. It's a direct, very solid relationship with Jesus. I thought, wow, really? You guys go straight to Jesus. In a Catholic school, I was given a laundry list of people to contact. Sorry about that.
Yeah. All right.
What I do when I go into a room.
What's going on right here? That's okay, Tim. We can let it go. I'll tell you what she said. It's okay, and you guys can look her up. It's very funny. But what she says as a Catholic, and this is how my girlfriend was raised as a Catholic, she was given a laundry list. She couldn't talk straight to Jesus. The nuns told her, stop, don't bother Jesus. Stop bothering Jesus. You've got your own saint. His whole job is to talk with you, is to share with you what's going on. So you can call up your own saint if you want to. You can call up his mother, Mary. You can talk to Mary. You can talk to Mary. You can call the priest. You can call a number of people, but don't bother Jesus. And so I'm raised with my mom talking to Jesus all the time. Do you see? I mean, and so she's comparing her story to my story. And the reason why I can do this is because the way I was raised. And it's easy for me to do it. The reason why she can't is because she keeps telling herself this story. Don't bother Jesus. And so you have to change your story. And so she and I were talking, and I said, you're not bothering Jesus. First of all, God's already there. So really you're talking to your higher self. And when you go into meditation, you can do that. And so all I'm saying is this, is that the stories we tell ourselves, it informs how we behave. The stories we tell ourselves informs how we behave. I've told myself, my mother told me, and I believe that it works for me, I can just talk to God like I'm talking to her, like I'm talking to you. That's why I do that. It's no better or worse than anything anybody else does. It's what I want to do. You can talk to Spirit however you want to talk to Spirit, like I'm doing, like she's doing, and just go to one of the saints. Whatever works for you. It doesn't matter. Do you understand that? The power of the story we tell is the point I'm trying to make. If it's not working for you, tell yourself a different story. You can change it anytime. And so as I'm talking with my friend, I just said, tell yourself a different story, honey. Go into meditation, and this is what you say. This is what you say. Try that. And so we've just been working on that for the last couple of weeks. I call her up every Tuesday. How's the relationship going? Are you talking to Jesus, or are they still getting in the way? And so we just move forward. If you can't change your story, you have people here that can help you change your story. If you want to change your story, you can. And we can help you with that. Because whatever story you're telling is the life you're living. And the only time you start to change your story is when it stops working for you, when it's no longer working for you. When you tell yourself, I can't do that. I'm not smart enough. There's not enough money. There's not enough abundance. I don't deserve money. If I have money, it's the root of all evil. Really? What is the last thing you have done? Here's the question I want to ask most people. And I want to ask you to think about it. You don't have to answer it out loud. Just think about yourself. If you won the lottery today, if you won it, after you paid off all your bills, because that's the first thing you want to do is pay off all your bills. After you pay off all your bills, what are you thinking about doing with the money? Are you thinking about helping other people? Are you thinking? Yes, you are. You'd be helping your mom and dad. Of course you would. You're thinking about helping people. You're thinking about helping your friends. You're thinking about helping your school. You're thinking about helping other people. That's what we naturally do. Because, why? Because we are one with Spirit. We are the one. We are love. We are unconditional love. We are here to care about one another. That's what we do. So money is not the root of all evil. The love of money would be, but not money itself. So you can just tell yourself a different story. That is not true. I know a lot of people that have money and they just spread it around and share it. Don't you? Don't you know these people? Right. So that can't be true. That can't be a true story. It's only true if you tell it to yourself. That's all I'm saying. So the point that I'm saying is love yourself. If you keep telling yourself that you're not okay, that you're not worthy, that's the truth that shows up for you. And there's all kinds of things that'll come into your life to support your story. But if you tell yourself, you know what, I am worthy. I do deserve wonderful things to come into my life. That truth, that story will support that truth, okay? That story will support that truth. So again, you are worthy to be loved because you are a child of God. You are an individualized expression of the one love. That's who you are. The fourth agreement says you are doing the best you can in every given moment. If you could do better, wouldn't you do better? You are doing the best you can. Sometimes you're just tired. Sometimes you're just having a great day and you're at 100%. And sometimes you're just tired. You've been working hard, you're at 20% because you're tired. But that is the best that you can do. And that is all right. You're always at your best, no matter what you think. You're always at your best. I want you to know that. What you're doing is you are learning from your experiences. You don't have to tell a story about your experience. It's just an experience. It's just an experience. If you tell yourself a story, oh my God, I was so horrible, what's going to happen? But if you tell yourself, you know what, that's not me. That wasn't my intention. The whole beating on the door thing, I just tell you that story. I don't feel bad about it. I did, but I let it go because it wasn't me. That's the reason why I did. And I understood why I showed up in that way. And I know that it's not me. I've never done that before. I haven't done it again. I won't do it again because it's not what I want. So I'm not going to have a story in my head that says I'm a horrible person. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say, oh, that was just you that day. You were at a low spot. That was your best you could do at that moment. That's all. That's all. That's all. Okay? So that's all I want you to know. You're doing your best. Give yourself some grace. Love yourself the way Spirit loves you. Love yourself the way Spirit loves you, which is all in. You are worthy to be loved, no matter how you show up. So I have some action steps for you, 3. The first thing is just to forgive yourself. Just always forgive yourself. Whatever you think you're doing that isn't good, forgive yourself. You are doing your best in each moment. Love yourself. Love yourself. Focus on your strengths. What's good? What's plentiful? What is abundant? What is good? Focus on that. Focus on love. And the third thing is you're just having an experience. Just learn from it. Don't tell a story about it. Just learn from it. Do you want to show up that way again or not? That's all. And just say yes or no. Yes or no. I'm not going to show up that way again. I'm done with that. Beating yourself up only causes bruises and marks on your soul. It just causes bruises and marks on your soul. Loving yourself, practicing forgiveness, accepting and knowing who you are, automatically worthy to be loved, that's who you are, because you are a child of God. You are ever expanding. You are ever growing. You are ever learning. You are attracting the energy of abundance and unconditional love for yourself and for others. That's what we're always doing. So I want to leave you with this quote. One of the best guides to how to be self-loving is to give ourselves the love we are often dreaming about receiving from someone else. Okay? Do you understand that? That is the best guide for self-love, is to give ourselves the love we dream about getting from someone else. Just give it to yourself. Just do it for yourself. Just self-love. That is the best way. That's from Bell Hooks. And my thoughts for you is be the first to love yourself. Just be the first. You don't have to wait. Nobody needs to come into your life and love you. Love yourself. You're worthy. You know the good things you do. You cannot give what you don't have. If you don't love yourself, how are you going to love someone else? Truly. You can't give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't know. So you have to love yourself first if you're really going to love someone else. Love yourself first. The good you want for those you love, do for yourself first. It's not being selfish, it's being authentic. Authentically share what you know to be true. If you love yourself, that's going to show when you're out with other people. If you love yourself, do you know how much joy I have? I was at Walmart. Well, I was at Walmart, but I was at Walmart yesterday, and yesterday. I was at Walmart yesterday and just walking up and down singing. Like I'm singing, like I own the place. Like, hey, what's it? I'm sure there are probably people like, who is this crazy woman? Do we even know her? I don't care what they were thinking. Doesn't matter, because it makes me feel great to just say hi, just to love somebody. And I was actually reading here it could have been art, because they were talking about older people, that it actually helps with dementia for people to say hi to you, for you to say hi to someone, for them to see you seeing them. So just do that. Just because you think you want to help, just say hi. Even if you don't know them. Hey, how you doing? Good. What does it hurt? It only helps. It only helps. So I encourage you to love yourself through whatever you think badly of yourself about. Doesn't matter. Give yourself some grace. Act like you are the beloved of God, because you are. No matter what anybody else says about you, you are the beloved of God. That's who you are. It's who you will always be. So act like you know that. This is who we are. This is who we are together. This is who you are. Let's walk in the world like we know who we are. And so it is. Namaste.